What's good? You done clicked on the video, so I'm already knowing you with the vibes. If you not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button as you come in. But today we're gonna do a little something different. Reacting to Ask a Brother podcast, one of his videos. Why social media changed the game. Let's get into it.
I think one of the hardest things for us to do, like you mentioned, is to look introspectively and say, look, this just isn't right. Most people don't do that. And I think that a big part of it is because of social media. Yeah. You're able to go into other people who can relate to what it is you're doing, and you'll hear it, and then your algorithm will train you to continue to follow these people, and then you have these echo chambers.
Yes.
So what I wanted to ask you was, how do you think social media has negatively or positively impacted relationships today?
Oof. I think it's mostly bad, unfortunately. I do believe that it has tricked us in terms of the belief in an abundance and optionality of the opposite sex. Partially...
It made more avenues for money now.
Right. For sure.
But it fucked up everything. Marriages. Everything. Right. At first, your bitch used to just see the niggas at work, you, and that's it. And come home. That's all she had to look at. Now she got about 30,000 niggas to look at. You heard me? For when you don't act right. And she hypnotized by all the other the bitches getting shit on Instagram that she ain't getting. So all that time you didn't put in but no money, it fucked up everything. It fucked up you too. All you had to look at was your side bitches, your bitches at work, your bitch at home, and come back. That's all we had. That's all. A couple side bitches from the other side of town. Now you hypnotized. Yeah. You look at your bitch and you see 1,000 bitches look better.
In both sexes, it's for different reasons. For men, the objectification of women, both in terms of when we objectify them and when they objectify themselves, has conditioned us to really, really struggle with lust. We're getting access to seeing more women naked than kings in medieval times ever saw in their entire lifetime.
Facts. Social media has desensitized us so much to seeing women to the point of what we're seeing now, back then was considered high grade. Today, it has turned into like mid-low grade. Back then, we could see a woman in some short shorts with a white tee long enough just to cover the shorts to make it look like she don't got nothing on under it, and all we seeing is legs. That was like, damn, okay. Now, oh, you can go to Walmart and catch that for free. And then don't go on social media. Oh, it's even worse.
I'll keep it G. My Explorer page is tore up.
Right? Like, so,
I don't even open it in front of anybody.
So think, what is this doing to us as men when we saw 500 women naked having sex by the time we were 18 digitally? Right? That doesn't even play into the open Wild Wild West actual dating market in terms of how people are approaching sex.
I just told this nigga I just finished fucking. He still ate my coochie. These niggas don't be giving no fuck. Like, I just fucked 2 niggas in one night, and I'm not even sleepy. I'm ready to do one more dick.
So it's kind of, it's probably damaged us to a degree to where it's very, very difficult for us to really understand and conceptualize the importance of monogamy, the importance of stability, and the importance of not leaning in our carnal nature and impulses that could potentially cause our demise financially, emotionally, and psychologically.
And some of y'all got it bad to the point where y'all need to be put in jail. Y'all waiting 4, 5, 6 years to see a girl turn 18 expose herself.
Which is often the case of why so many men end up taking themselves out. They oftentimes take themselves out of here after dealing with a negative interaction with a woman where a relationship fell apart. I was there. I was very close to that. So
really?
I was at a spot and point when I did the Playboy thing. I did the City Boy thing for about huge half
City
my.
Boys up.
Right, I was up for real, right? And it was very, very difficult to be the guy that my ex at the time probably needed, and I failed. I failed morally. I failed. I failed sexually in terms of just not being able to figure out how to kind of slow down and stop doing this. And a lot of men's time of intentionally trying to practice sexual discipline is only when they're in a relationship.
You gotta practice what you preach on and off the camera. You can't come to practice lollygagging and expect to show up game day and execute. And this go for all phases in life, from financial to relationship. And within the relationship dynamic, you can't be out there in the streets being toxic and then turn around next week and want to be in a relationship. You got some self-reflecting to do, because here it is, y'all will be going through these traumas and arguments, all this turmoil, and you thinking it's your partner, but not really self-reflecting and realizing that it's you.
Right.
And that's what happened, where I'm trying to figure out how to do the right thing in real time while I'm hurting the women I'm with.
It kind of doesn't work that way in anything else that you try to do. You're trying to learn to be a professional at a relationship while you're in it.
Yeah.
Like that just doesn't work.
Yeah. So imagine you take on a job that requires a high level of certifications, degrees, and experience, and you have none of those things, and you're getting a performance evaluation every week. You're gonna lose that spot a little sooner than you realize, and you're gonna keep being reminded, and they're gonna keep being reminded why you're not meant to be in this role in my life. That is what's happening. Is a lot of times we're trying and attempting to establish and maintain sexual discipline, but we're only able to try to do that when we're in a relationship. We don't practice and try to do that when we're single. On our own, we just out here doing our thing. So, I think social media has definitely damaged our view and perspective of women. It's definitely messed with us to the degree of where it's like.
So I would assume to some degree that everybody understands or have an inclination on how social media can influence somebody. So from a man's perspective, when we see a woman with certain behavior patterns, certain aesthetics, certain talking points, when we encounter this in real life or in person, sad to say 9 times or 8 times out of 10 that we're going to assume that you're portraying to be this certain type of character. It's sad, but the influence is that strong.
And then what you said with the algorithms, we have a much more negative view of them in terms of their nature, their actions, their behaviors, as a result of watching all this content where we're seeing the worst of women,
right.
The dumbest women, the worst women, the most evil women are now, we're starting to project that onto all women with how we talk, with how we carry ourselves, with how we treat them. It happens. And I believe that a lot of guys who end up black pill and check out, it's because they've overestimated the worst aspects of what women have to offer.
Offer some individuality. Nobody is authentic no more. Nobody is they self. Everybody is like they copy and paste. That's what separates somebody from the pack. When you see a person with some individuality, and it can just be the little things, like a woman dressing fully covered or just classy. Like, we're not seeing that. So when you do see a woman like that, it's like, dang, that's like the new turn on.
And now they've undervalued the positives that come with doing life with women. So there's a little bit of that. On the women's side, from a comparison standpoint, optionality, the ability, a belief system that they can replace men from all over the world being able to access them so freely, has, like you said earlier, tricked them into believing that if and when a man that has means, wealth, or is very good looking has access to you sexually, you believe that you're now on his level.
Yeah, that delusion chemical. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's in the products. It's in like the weave, all that cosmetic stuff, or just that enhancement stuff to amp up a woman's aesthetics. Yeah, that delusion chemical has to be in those type of products.
When usually you're not. The overwhelming majority of women that's in his rotation, that's in his list of body counts, they're not his equivalent. That's why you on the roster. That's why you were on the list versus being the only one. If he can sleep with you and your homegirls and a lot of beautiful women notice him in the room and he's respected by most men and desired by most women, if you're not a 9 or 10, you're not on his level. I know you think you are, but you're not. But then they carry themselves that way, which results in them overlooking all the men that are actually at their level.
I gotta blame some of the guys out there for even encouraging this type of lifestyle to a woman. Selling her the dream, just feeding her delusion. Especially some of y'all like rich simps. Y'all'll feed a woman this dream all day just to get the cookie. And then some of y'all don't even live this caliber of a lifestyle for real, just putting on a facade.
So average women, we've heard it from Kevin, we've heard it from Fresh and Fit, we've heard it from all these different people. Social media has rigged and trained a lot of women's views of themselves in relation to the dating market, in relation to other men, to where they genuinely believe that most men that are average looking, average wealth, are no longer qualified for them.
He can't have a 9 to 5.
What? Why not? You don't want him to have an honest job?
I mean, he could be a hustling entrepreneur.
So you want him to be you want CEO status?
Yes.
Okay, he can't
So
like, he can't clock in and clock out.
No.
Damn,
I
B.
think
Simone.
entrepreneurs should date entrepreneurs.
Okay, but still, there's people who have really good jobs with vocational skills. If he's a mechanic,
I'm sure, but no, you're not going to understand my lifestyle. You're not going to understand why I'm up at 3 a.m.
Damn, you're making this hard for me. Okay, all right.
You know, he has to be an entrepreneur,
a business owner.
And with feminism, to add to the social media component, when you factor in that they've made money, and now their perspective is men that make less or substantially less than me, I can't date. And if men are average looking, and I've dated or messed with a Chad, I can't date those type of guys either. They're now chasing, and then they're comparing all the DMs and the likes and all this external validation is convincing them that they have more options than they actually do. So, you know, it's distorted men's perspective of women. I think it's distorted women's perspective of themselves. And before you know it, now you have a small pool of men who's just living it up. And unfortunately, I was one of those guys where, you know, I'm in a school where a huge percentage of the women aren't interested in most of the men.
We need to bring back the old school way of sliding in the DMs. For us, it was actually getting the number, calling that house phone, and going through a vetting process. Why? Because her parents gonna answer the phone. So you had to be like, "Good morning, Mr. or Mrs. such and such. This is Lewis. Can I please speak to your daughter?" And with that being said, the foundation of that relationship is already built off of respect.
And if you were fairly charismatic, knew how to dress, were above average in the looks department, you could take our whole classroom.
It's a wrap.
You're taking our whole classroom, right? So, and that was what it was. And you were allowed to.
Right.
And you were allowed to. So all the traditional patriarchal things that was in place to prevent you as a man from being able to have that much access to women with not leading to any other outcomes, when you removed all the patriarchal restraints, all the protections, and now you said sexual liberation, have fun. Oh, and here's social media, so you can constantly compare the man, the engagement, the home, the car, and the travel to what everybody else got going on.
Run if you would date them. Restaurant owners, promoters, realtors, rappers, contractor, a scammer, the AC man, the policeman, soccer player, What about actors? Football player? A chef?
Now you are looking at all other men and saying, if he can't provide what my homegirl got or what this one got, disqualified. He don't make this much, disqualified. This guy was real good looking, or this athlete, this dude hit me up. It's tricked us into believing that we have more options than we do. And now we're at a point or place where we would, not all, but a lot of people would rather wait and or be alone indefinitely, with a belief in mind that at some point it'll just mysteriously come. It'll just mysteriously.
Yeah, there's a lot of women who really feel like God is just going to spawn their perfect match, right? The man that they actually deserve.
What advice do you have?
Don't rely on social media. Put it down, turn it off, shut up, be quiet, learn, read, relax, get better. First part of your life you learn, second part of your life you earn, third part of your life you return.
Can you be my therapist?
I already am.
I agree with everything Denzel just said. The only thing he had wrong was at the end of his video, he gave y'all 3 steps, and it's actually 4. The first part is subscribe to V with the Vibes. The second is learn. Third, earn. Fourth, then you return. And with that being said, if you are not subscribed, why not? You done made it this far in the video and you didn't subscribe yet. And if you are subscribed, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Y'all tell a friend to tell a friend. This is where they can come get their daily dose of the vibes. Y'all like up the comments, hit the like button, and until next time, I'll holla.